Hello, it's Lockstin! Welcome to my universe! 2016 was a very eventful year in a multitude of ways, but in this video, let's talk about all of the major events that happened this year in the video game industry. But first, this video is sponsored by the coolest gaming mint company ever, Catalyst Mints, which grew exponentially this year, and for good reason. 3 mints gives the same energy as an energy drink, but without the loads of sugar and calories and all that other bad stuff in those energy drinks. I used to need energy drinks every single workday, which obviously didn't do me very well, but since switching to these, I still get my energy boost while keeping my diet happy. And I'm super happy to be able to spread their message. A link to their website is in the description. Catalyst Mints. 2016. The first big thing to happen this year was the acquisition of Major League Gaming by Activision Blizzard. Most people shrugged, unaware of its existence beyond a meme. What makes many people speculate about the future, however, is the retirement of Mark Laidlaw, the lead writer of the Half-Life series. Does this mean there will truly never be a Half-Life 3? Or was he the one holding back its creation? Only time and an endless stream of cryptic messages and unrelated properties will tell. PAX happened. And in February, Blizzard celebrated its 25th anniversary. But it wasn't the only anniversary that month. On February 27th, Pokémon celebrated its 20th anniversary. And to celebrate, they introduced monthly Pokémon giveaways, as well as monthly special Pokémon plushes and trading card sets with cute little pins. Septillions of dollars were probably made. And as for the Pokemon franchise, Ash Ketchum of Pallet Town lost the Pokemon League again, coming second place because even after 19 years of experience, he is still as useless as can be, and chose his Pokemon team based on recent friends made, instead of a winning team. Come on, Ash! But it wouldn't be a major Pokemon year without game releases. Pokemon Go released and got gamers around the world up and walking around towns. The economy boomed in every field, and Pokemon Go became the record high for money earned on a mobile game. But Niantic, the game's creator, soon learned that gamers get tired quickly, and they collectively decided to sit back down, and the game died as fast as it grew. And even more notably, Pokemon Sun and Moon released in November, and it too broke records. It was the most-selling game that month, beating even Call of Duty. And it also took the record as the most pre-ordered Nintendo game. Taking a step away from Pokemon now, the website Game Trailers closed. Some of you may remember that website as it was once a major source of game news, years and years ago, and so most of you probably don't. Dark Souls 3.
The prophecy is true.
Resident Evil also celebrated 20 years of existence by announcing Resident Evil 7, utilizing their logo well. Legitimately, I think someone in the office around the time of Resident Evil 2 or 3 thought this up as, "Hey, when we reach 7, we can do this thing with the Roman numerals." "That's brilliant, Tim! You get a promotion to CEO for that idea!" And then Tim woke up. And then Tim had to work on Resident Evil 6, and was promptly fired. And in an unsurprising turn of events, Dead or Alive Xtreme 3 caused controversy in the gaming sphere when it was announced that it would not be brought to the West for fear of backlash from people who wouldn't even buy the game in the first place. This controversy, however, caused many more fans to just import the game themselves, even if they were uninterested in doing so previously, which led to its sales increasing tremendously, showing once again that if these complaining people want to solve a problem, then the best thing they can do is shut up. Sega completed its acquisition of Atlus, and so all Atlus-developed titles localized for America will be published by Sega. No Man's Sky earned multiple titles, such as Most Overhyped Game and Most Disappointing Game. Lawsuits have been filed against its developer for false advertising. Why was the size of the game's universe able to hype people so much? As soon as they say procedurally generated, you should know it's more than likely not going to be a great game. What's really surprising, though, is that No Man's Sky managed to take this title from Mighty No. 9, which also released this year, to much disappointment. It turns out, just because a game gets 10 times the budget of another one, doesn't mean it will be a better game. Money management, come on, explosions don't look like pizza. There was also Metroid Prime Federation Force, a decent game on its own right, but it isn't the same as previous Metroids, so it receives a lot of hate. Paper Mario Color Splash also happened, to much dismay, and Star Fox Zero also came out. It has not been a good year for Nintendo outside of Pokemon. To put it lightly, the side game Star Fox Guard that Star Fox Zero released with is leaps and bounds better than Star Fox Zero, and it's a tower defense game. In a strange twist, GameStop began a publishing division called Game Trust, because trusting GameStop is always a good idea. Their first title was Song of the Deep, and while it was a good game, it has way too much merchandise for what it is. So by GameStop publishing games, they mean they will make a ton of merchandise for it, because that's where most of their profit comes from. You can't blame a business for being a business. PAX happened. And more notably, so did E3, as it does every year. What got most people's attention was Nintendo's choice to only show off The Legend of Zelda: Breath of the Wild. However, their efforts did well, as The Legend of Zelda took the winnings of every major website's polls for Best Game at E3. But when your competition is vague pre-rendered cutscenes, games we've known about for years, and more generic sequels, that's not very hard to do. Yahoo Games was shut down by Yahoo, so now we're just waiting for Yahoo to be shut down by Yahoo. Uncharted 4 released, and finally, most likely, brought an end to Nathan Drake's story. Doom was rebooted to much success, showing that highly polished single-player FPSs still have an excellent market, while multiplayer FPSs still do terribly unless they are these ones. That shouldn't be that hard to understand. Sonic the Hedgehog celebrated its 25th anniversary as well, and they held a horrible, miserable, dead party. But they also announced 2 games, one that is exactly what longtime fans have wanted for 20 years, and one that is the opposite. Turns out, the best people to make a good Sonic game are people not at all associated with Sonic Team, and instead just fans who got permission to make an official game. No one was surprised by this discovery. Valve hosted The International, a Dota 2 championship that is on record for being the highest paid esports event in history thus far, as well as proving that Dota 2 is indeed better than League of Legends in absolutely every way, no debate. And that I am excellent at starting arguments in the comment section. While Call of Duty and Battlefield have been rivals for some time, this year saw them both take drastically different paths. Call of Duty did exactly what they shouldn't have done, and Battlefield did what Call of Duty should have done. Their sales reflect this. After a 10-year development cycle, Final Fantasy XV finally released, and to much praise for its innovative gameplay and story, but also a decent amount of hate for being slightly too different. Welcome to the gaming industry. And lastly, the Game Awards 2016 happened, and were cringy yet again, showing that still, the aged executives that set this up have no idea what youths are into these days. But anyway, Overwatch won Game of the Year as well as Best Multiplayer. Uncharted 4 won Best Narrative, Doom with Best Music and Best Action Game, Forza Horizon 3 with Best Sports/Racing Game, The Witcher 3 Blood and Wine with Best Role-Playing Game. You know your game is good when its DLC wins a Game of the Year award. Civilization 6 with Best Strategy Game, Pokemon Go with Best Mobile Game, and Best Family Game. That Dragon Cancer for games with impact, meaning it made more people sad, which makes it surprising that Call of Duty Infinite Warfare didn't get that one. Best Art goes to Inside, which also goes to Best Indie Game. Those 2 awards kinda have a thing going together. Best Performance to Nolan North as Nathan Drake. Best Game Direction goes to Blizzard for Overwatch, Street Fighter V won Best Fighting Game with next to no competition, and Rex Infinite won Best VR Game. And speaking of VR, 2016 saw VR technology expand greatly. Google Dream, HTC Vive, PlayStation VR, and more. This is the year it all began to explode, as evidenced by the rings of acne around the faces of its users. Will it last throughout next year? Or will it die just like motion controls? Only time and statistical analysis showing that most people are uninterested in it beyond it being a simple gimmick from time to time, so obviously it's going to crash just like motion controls, and we don't have the right level of technology that people want yet. We'll tell. And do you want to know what else major happened this year? Catalyst Mints began a large advertising campaign to spread their message and support content creators they think are awesome through sponsorships. Want to turn on your A game and increase your memory retention while studying and working? Then Catalyst Mints are for you. Link down below, and until next time, you stay awesome, and hope that next year will be better.